Hey YouTube, what's going on? Lead Station 4 here with my aftermath for Teddy Roosevelt versus Lawrence of Arabia. I just want to start off by saying that this is a really great episode. I really enjoyed watching the machine guns, as well as seeing some bolt-action rifles, just, some weapons from World War One. That was pretty cool. And I guess the knives were, they're knives. However, I am actually very disappointed with the overall outcome. Just, the fact that Teddy won and just why I think he actually won. Alright, so let's get started here. So for long range, we know that those were the machine guns, alright? And we know that Teddy Roosevelt got the edge for his Gatling gun, which is something that nobody predicted. And it's quite obvious why he got the edge for his Gatling gun. It's because it didn't jam. Whereas with the Vickers, it did jam. And I mean, that is a great reason to give it to the Gatling gun, but I don't think it should have been totally, that should have totally made up their minds. Because, I mean, afterwards, if you saw the Vickers machine gun, they were actually aiming the gun. They were, they were looking down the sights and aiming, and they were like pop firing, shooting one guy, killing him, going on to the next guy. Whereas with the Gatling gun, they were just constantly cranking out bullets, and I bet you most of the bullets didn't hit the marks. All right, they were just kind of swinging it back and forth, just in a way, kind of hoping they would hit the guy. It's like you're hip firing with the Gatling gun, and you're actually aiming down the sights with the Vickers. So I mean, that shows that the Vickers is much more accurate. And I mean, the bullet was quite big. It was significantly bigger than the Gatling gun's bullet. Well, what else does I want to say there? I guess that's it. That's really all I want to cover. I mean, I kind of think I understand where they got the idea that the Gatling gun got the edge there, but I think it should have been a bit closer. I mean, if you look, the difference of which gun got the most kills, it was like 3,000. The Gatling gun got 3,000 more kills than the Vickers, and I think that's way too much personally. I think it should have been a lot more, like, under 1,000 really, because I mean, despite the fact that the Vickers jammed, it did only jam once, and I think that didn't make a big difference, I'll admit, but I mean, afterwards they really went to town with the Vickers, and I don't know, the Gatling gun, just the fact that you have to crank it, and I love how every other episode they take fatigue into account, and this episode, when there's actually a weapon that brings you actual fatigue, they didn't even bother. They didn't even mention fatigue at all. So I don't know, that I didn't really agree with that. Anyway, so with medium range, it was a wash, so it was a tie. I do agree with that. Both weapons have their pros and cons. All right. I think they were like really into the recoil way too much. I mean, if you look at it, the recoil doesn't look like it's a lot. I mean, I understand that it's like 30 pounds or whatever it was, but it is a single shot rifle, so I don't think it really makes that big of a difference. And I don't know, whatever. And I think they should have been a little more lenient towards the Enfield to get the edge, due to the fact that it had the bigger magazine. Those 10 rounds, and not to mention the fact that with the Springfield or Craig or whatever, you have to load it in one by one, and it's only 5 bullets. Alright, so I mean, that's a big hassle. And I mean, we just saw that in the U.S. Army Rangers versus North Korean Special Operations Force episode. The Army Rangers got the edge due to their larger magazine capacity. So I think Lawrence should have gotten the edge there. Alright, so for short range, I'm not even going to touch on short range. To me, it's just such an insignificant range. I mean, now that we don't actually know the amount of kills that it gets, we just know the percentage, we can't actually give a number and say, it got that many or that little kills. Alright, so to me, the big weapon, there's always one big weapon, and in this one it was obviously the machine guns, and once Teddy got the edge for the machine gun, and it was a tie for the medium range guns, to me that was it. I mean, Teddy was going to win. Alright? But anyways, let's go on to my overall, what I have to say overall. Now, I will admit, I don't have a lot of evidence to go on with what I'm about to say, but I do think this is another case of the show being biased towards American warriors. I mean, like I said, I don't have a lot of evidence to go on, but I think Lawrence should have won. I mean, I watched several prediction videos over YouTube, and all of them said the same thing: that Lawrence was going to win, the Vickers was going to be better, the Enfield is going to be better, and the Bowie knife is going to be better than the Jambia. All right, and it actually turned out to be the complete opposite. I mean, I don't know. I really do get upset whenever an American warrior wins. I don't know if it's the fact that I'm just not American, I'm just not seeing it as they are, or if it's the fact that it actually is biased. To me, I think it actually is biased. All right, I mean, you can't have this, this long streak of American warriors winning. I mean, there's only been 2 presidents in Deadliest Warrior, and they both won. All right, and one for sure I know shouldn't have won, and that was George Washington. Teddy, I think there was a good chance that Teddy would win, but I think Lawrence still had it. I mean, he had a lot of years on Teddy. He was in much better shape than Teddy Roosevelt was. Just everything in my mind really seems to go towards Teddy in this one, or to Lawrence. Sorry. But anyways, and yeah. I mean, I was on Facebook last night, and they always post stuff for Deadliest Warrior, like, what do you guys think of the overall outcome and stuff? And there's like guys saying, obviously Teddy won. America has the best military in the world, or whatever. I'm like, yeah, okay, I'll admit you do now. You do have the best military now, but back in the days of Teddy Roosevelt and Lawrence of Arabia, meaning World War One, you sure as hell did not. Okay, I'm talking guys like Britain and Germany mainly. They were, in my mind, the superior military forces of the world, and coincidentally, T.E. Lawrence fought with England, who, in my mind, was the biggest one. All right, so in my mind, it was originally going to be a blowout in the favor of Lawrence of Arabia, but once that Vickers jammed, to me, that was it. I mean, to me, I saw Teddy getting the edge for that, and overall Teddy winning. But I still think it should have gone the other way, and I still think it's biased, despite what people may say or what they're going to say. I don't really care. I still think it's biased. And I bet you in one of the next episodes coming up, it's Crazy Horse against Pancho Villa. I guarantee you Crazy Horse will win because a Native American is not lost yet. And I mean, they're American. So, there you go. Also, I had to laugh at the alternate ending thing, because they were talking about how, what Germany, or what America would be like under Nazi rule. They're talking about how bad it was, and then out of nowhere, with like 5 minutes left, they just start talking about, but America would have a revolution, and they would take out the Germans, and they'd start guerrilla warfare against the Germans, and it would be very effective, and they'd win. And I was just like, all right. And then the colonel, the sergeant guy, whatever, the army guy, was like, yeah, we would, there's no doubt in my mind that we would win. We'd get whatever, and we'd go back to Germany and take it to them. It's like, oh my God, bud. Like, I doubt it, alright? Hitler ruled with an iron fist, okay? And I doubt that he would be lenient at all towards a member of the Reich, meaning the U.S. in the show. Alright, so, I doubt that would be even be possible, but I don't really care about that. Actually, I do hope they do more of those. It was kind of interesting, but just a different one, maybe. So, that's all I gotta say. Yeah. Anyways, I'll see you guys later, and bye.